Hey everybody, welcome to our Emerald Decide to Rise call. My name is Paulina Nowak and I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. I love you, Sue. You're like jumping up and down in the background. You are the freaking cutest. Yeah, I see so many people I know. I love this. Anyway, so for maybe people who don't know who I am, my name is Paulina Nowak. I've been a coach for 6 years now, so I am like a grandma coach compared to a lot of people that are on this call right now. But I want to just thank you for being here with me live tonight. This is super exciting and still kind of nervous. So for those of you who don't know me, I used to be super shy, super to myself. Like the idea of being on a call, even like on the phone, calling a doctor and making an appointment or something would make me want to throw up. So hosting a call for like hundreds of people to watch just goes to show you the growth that's happened because of Beachbody and this whole journey. And big thank you to Cristina Delgado, my sponsor coach. She introduced me to Beachbody. Not the first person to introduce me. Actually, the first person to introduce me was an infomercial that I watched in college for Insanity. And I ordered Insanity with the payment plan. Junior year, I did maybe 2 workouts, if that, maybe like 1.5, and I gave up. So that's how far my Beachbody journey went in college. But the reason why I started that journey or wanted to start that journey was because I was like 20 pounds overweight, super unhealthy. I mean, if you've ever lived in a dorm on campus, you know that you are eating tons of crap. Just being in college in general, that whole experience, you kind of forget about what health is, you know? You don't even think about anything that has to do with health. You just, are having fun, you're partying, you're drinking, you're eating Taco Bell at 3 a.m., not having a care in the world, right? Just like hoping to pass your classes. So that was my college experience. It was great, but obviously not on my waistline. So fast forward like 3 years after that, I met Cristina Delgado and her amazing family, and I started working with her son, DJ, as his therapist. And I started seeing her. Well, actually, I like Googled her name before I started working with her. And then I saw these like P90X videos come up on YouTube, and I'm like, who is this lady? And why is she working out, doing like pull-ups in her garage? And I'm like, holy crap, like what? So like super intimidated. But I watched her for like 6 months doing this Beachbody thing. I watched her drink the shakes. I watched her get in incredible shape. And here I was, frumpy, tired, exhausted, like 23-year-old, just like, what is my excuse? I don't have kids. All I have is a job. Literally, that's all I had at that point, like as far as responsibilities go. And I'm like, if she can do this, she's like working as a full-time lawyer. She has a family. She has a household to like run, and she still makes time to like work out and do this thing. So I'm like, screw it. I just have to order the shake thing she's having and just finally like commit to it, right? Because there was always that, oh, it's too expensive. I can't do that. I don't have time for that. But then I was wasting like $10 at Starbucks every morning getting a coffee and like a muffin, and that wasn't too expensive, right? But then I figured, okay, screw it. I'm going to invest in the shake. I'll try it for a month. I literally went on her Facebook page, got her Beachbody link, and ordered Shakeology behind her back. Of course, she realized the next morning when she checked her Coach Line office, I didn't know this, but she looked, and then she's like, did you just order Shakeology? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And from there, I mean, long story short, I'm here now hosting this call, which is pretty cool. But a lot has happened in the past few years. Obviously, I lost the weight. I've gotten in the best shape of my life. I've met these incredible people that I call my family now, not just Christina and Danny and their family, but you guys. Like, it's really incredible how much starting a fitness journey could transform your entire life and your whole entire future. So anyways, I just went on this huge tangent, but the whole point of that is I wanted to kind of share a piece of my story, because stories are really what matter in this business. That's what connects people, and the better you are at sharing your story, the better you're going to be at your Beachbody business. So let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right. Okay, so I think you guys can see my screen, right? Awesome. Okay, so what is Emerald and how to storytell your way there? This is what my presentation will be like. And if you saw, I posted a really cool PDF in the Diesel Nation Rising team page today of Emerald Coach Rank 101. So it literally breaks down all the benefits, what an Emerald Coach is. I'm not going to go into details about Teams Like Go Bonus tonight or any of that stuff, because that's something you can watch a super short YouTube video on, hi Marley, and get all the details and all the info through that. Okay, so, but first, so how fast can you advance to Emerald? Oh no, someone's writing on my screen, or I just did that. Anyways, so if you're like a brand spanking new coach, and I have a few new coaches on here, so shout out to you girls, I'm so proud of you. So you literally just opened up your Beachbody business. You just got started. So Emerald rank is your first milestone in the business. That's what is gonna set you apart from being someone who is just interested and being someone who is committed in building their business, right? So now you're thinking like, oh, what is this Emerald thing? Like, is it super hard to accomplish? No, it is super, super simple, super easy, and you can literally do it in 24 hours. Yes, that's right. And you might be like, no way, that's too easy. Well, I will tell you that it is that easy, because Emerald rank really just means that you and 2 other coaches, right? You have 1 active coach on your left leg and 1 active coach on your right leg. And I can guarantee you, if you had to think of 5 people who you would call in case, you know, you got stuck on a highway with a flat tire, like family members, friends, coworkers, whoever, you could think of some people, right? So these are people who will literally show up in the middle of the night to help you if you needed help. And those are the people who will help you build your business, right? So here are some examples of people who can join your team: parents, spouse, significant other, siblings, family members, best friends, family members, best friends, coworkers, your dog. Just kidding, you can't sign up your dog because they don't have a social security number. But you get the gist here, right? Like, you have people in your life who will do literally whatever you ask them to, right? Like, if you were to call up your best friend and say, oh my gosh, guess what? Taylor Swift is coming into a concert next month. Like, let's go to her concert. You wouldn't feel weird about inviting her to that or asking her to spend money on something like that, right? So with this business, it's the same thing. We are literally sharing an amazing tool and gift and opportunity that can transform someone's physical life, their financial life, their whole future, their whole family's future, right? So we can't take that lightly and think that it's weird or feels salesy to like try to get my parents to sign up or get my friends or whoever to sign up, because this is what you're building, something long-term. Like I said, it's an opportunity that can literally change the whole course of your life. So don't feel weird about that. Like, be proud of it, right? Just like you would be proud if you opened up your own coffee shop, you would want your friends and family members to support you. This is the same exact thing. So next, I want to chat with you a little bit about why stories are so powerful. So, storytelling 101. So for thousands of years, information has been passed down through stories. Why? Because people can remember stories, right? People can connect with stories. Humans are literally programmed to listen to stories. Stories are how we process all the world around us, right? So our brains naturally take pieces of information we're hearing and we try to put it into facts, into a narrative. And we crave stories. Just think about it. If your friend calls you and says, oh my God, I have a story to tell you, what's the first thing that happens? Your reaction is like, oh, okay, tell me, like, what happened, right? Like, you want to hear it. You can't, like, just even think about eavesdropping, right? Like, you can't help but listen to people tell stories. So our brains automatically pay attention when we hear the phrase, once upon a time, right? Like, since we were babies, hearing stories of, you know, our parents reading bedtime stories, we love hearing stories. So, our brains will automatically create pictures in your mind, right, when a story is being told. For example, if I told you, think about a story with a horse who wears red lipstick, what's the first thing you think of? In your mind, you're already creating a picture of a horse that's wearing red lipstick, right? So we can create pictures in the minds of others by telling them stories as well. Every decision that a person makes is made at least twice. So the first decision is made in their mind, hypothetically, before it's ever made in reality. So have you ever heard the phrase like, oh, I can never picture myself doing that. I can never imagine doing that, right? It's the same thing. Like, what we're doing when we do show up on our social medias, when we are sharing our stories, when we are talking about this, is that we're letting these people into our lives and letting them create that picture for themselves. So why like top coaches are top coaches is because they're constantly sharing their story. They're constantly sharing their truth and constantly painting that picture of what your life could look like if you also do what they're doing. And decisions are based off emotions, not logic. So when we tap into those feelings through our stories, that's vital to your success, right? Like when I told you my previous story of how I first got started, when I shared like that I was exhausted, that I was feeling unhappy in my body, I was not confident, right? Like all those things, those are emotions that other people can connect with based off of their own life experiences. So when you are showing up, like no one cares really what's in Shakeology. Let's be honest. Yes, it's an amazing product. Yes, it is life-changing, but you don't have to list all 70 ingredients to be able to tell someone like, hey, this is amazing. You should get this, right? You should drink it every single day, no matter what. So that's the emotional part about it. Like I love Shakeology and I will drink it for the rest of my life, not because it's 70 ingredients in it. It's because of how it makes me feel. I have amazing energy. My digestion is better and it just makes me better, right? So that's what matters. Okay, so now close your eyes for a second and just imagine. So how will you feel when you lose those X amount of pounds? How will you feel when you pay off all of your debt with your Beachbody earnings? How will you feel when someone thanks you for changing your life? And that honestly is like one of the best feelings in the world. How will you feel when you have the freedom to take your family on an incredible vacation? How will you feel when you no longer are exhausted, frustrated, angry, sick, etc.? So these are all things to think about when you are writing your post. Whether you've accomplished these things yet or not, if you just started your journey yesterday, these are all things you can still talk about because you have proof from other coaches, like your coach who brought you into this business, or maybe coaches' stories that you've heard in a coach sneak peek that you can share because you heard about it. You related to those parts of their story, right? Their struggles, their obstacles, and this vehicle for how they overcame that. So you can start sharing those things. All right, so you might have heard this before, but facts tell and stories sell. And that is the God honest truth. So facts feel safe, right? That's why we gravitate towards wanting to learn all the stuff about what's in Shakeology, all the stuff about like the Coach Online Office or whatever. But honestly, like you don't need to know all of those things to be a great coach. Like you just need to share the story because that's really the connective tissue that's going to help someone relate to you, to your journey, and to this opportunity. And storytelling is really a co-creative process. So like I mentioned before, when you start sharing your stories, people's brains are already putting themselves in your shoes or in that situation and fitting those stories into their lives, right? And seeing, okay, she started this journey. Now she's feeling incredible. Like her life has changed. Maybe this is something I could do too. Maybe, I could work out from home. Maybe I could have a side income with this business that she does from her phone. Like, how cool is that? And if someone invests in your story, that's when they're going to invest in you. So I hope you guys are liking this. I'm not reading the comments yet because I don't want to get distracted. But anyway, so now I'm going to get into some storytelling tips. So be vulnerable and please be you. Don't look at other top coaches and think you have to like post like them or be like them or look like them. Like we want to see you. Like the imperfections, not just the highlight reel, not just a cute, perfectly organized house and this and that. Like just be real and vulnerable because if you're trying to be somebody else, then you're giving people like the second-rate version of you, right? And that's not what you want. Like you want to bring people into this business because you have something to offer them. And that's what they're going to stick around for. Like they're attracted to what you have to offer, your gifts, your quirks, your uniqueness, all that. And before crafting your story, like I want you to really think about what is the message you want to share. Don't just post to post because your coach told you you need to post 3 times a day or whatever. Like actually think about what stories you're sharing. And they don't have to be extravagant, crazy, like out of this world. I went skydiving yesterday stories. It could be something simple. It could be whatever you want it to be. Like like I said, don't overthink this. Like share little stories about your day. Share about if you have kids, your animals, share about how tough that workout was, but you pushed through it, all those things. And shift your focus from getting attention to having others want to give it to you, right? Use those stories to make that shift possible. So I'm not trying to get people's attention. I want to them to give me that attention and to keep their attention every single day. So that way they keep watching my Instagram stories and keep wanting to see what's next and keep wanting to see, you know, my next transformation and all the things that are coming in my future, right? Because I'm taking the journey with them. And leave some room for curiosity. So especially for new coaches, you just want to lean on the products and you want to use that as like the way you position this, right? But instead of that, like, be a little like mysterious. People love mystery. People want to come back for more information, right? So if you are constantly just using the words like Shakeology, Beachbody, 21 Day Fix, whatever it is, like the first reaction of a person is going to be, okay, I'm going to go to Amazon or I'm going to Google that and get the information. You want them to come to you because you're the one who's sharing the stuff, but you want them to be able to ask you the questions, okay, like what is that yellow drink you keep drinking every single day before your workout? Because I see you, I see the energy you're having, and I want a piece of that, right? And you want your stories to be inviting. So you don't want them to be like, look at me, like I'm so great. No, you want your stories to be saying, come with me on this journey, right? Like I'm inviting you into my life. Okay, so your success is directly tied to your story. And if you want more success, you gotta tell more stories. And you gotta get better at telling stories and tell stories to as many new people as possible. That is like one of the best ways I could tell you to not only launch your business, but continue keeping it flowing and keep that momentum going. So here are some storytelling prompts. You want to write down like your stories with the products and your experiences with them, right? Your stories about the business opportunity and your vision for where you're taking this. You want to paint that picture, and the more details you can include in your stories, the better people will remember them. And the more often, like I said, you repeat those stories and you share different pieces and parts of it, that's going to help them really connect with you. And what stories drew you in and got you excited? So was it a story of Christina Delgado? Was it, a story that another top coach shared, Becky Brosset? Was it something that, you know, in our team specifically you were attracted to? Or maybe your coach, you know, retired from her job to stay home with her kids and is present mom and gets to work and build her business while being with her kids. Like, is that what drew you in? Whatever it may be, use those stories and share that in your posts and in your messaging, in your invites, in the behind the scenes, like when you're talking to people, share the story parts. Like don't forget about that stuff because it's so important. Okay, so here is the ultimate storytelling framework by Kendra Hall. So Kendra Hall is a professional storyteller, and she was actually at Leadership this year for Beachbody. She was a keynote speaker, and you can YouTube Kendra Hall Beachbody Leadership, and you can watch her talk. I've covered a lot of different parts of what she shared about, but this is what she talks about. Because when we're kids, we learn, okay, a story has a beginning, a middle, and end, right? But when you restructure the framework, this is how she starts it. Normal, which is like your life, right? So like, what was your life before? And like I said, tap into the emotions of how did you feel before Beachbody? How did you feel before you started your workouts? How did you feel before you had Shakeology? How did you feel before you knew how to meal prep and cook healthy? So all those things were life before, right? Then the explosion. So that's when your life changed. So the moment where the change occurred, maybe it was the first time you pushed play, maybe it was the first time you drank Shakeology, maybe it was the first time you earned your paycheck, whether it was a big paycheck or even a small paycheck, and maybe it helped you have that extra money to buy groceries or to fill up your gas tank. Like that's like the key moment in your story that's going to draw people in, right? And then your new normal. So simply an update, an assessment, or a progress report. So like sharing what's also possible for your prospects because this is now your new normal, right? And that's the framework that's this is the framework from the most captivating storytellers that you can measure every story you start to tell against, right? So remember, normal, so your life before, the explosion, that's when your life changed, and then your new normal. And then some simple action steps. So now I want you to talk to your spouse, your significant other, reach out to your closest family members and your friends, share your story authentically with them, share your hopes and dreams about how this business will be your vehicle to getting to those hopes and dreams, right? And to creating a new future, a new life for your family and for yourself. And ask them to get in the driver's seat with you. So take the fear out, just ask them. And I'll give you a warning, not everybody's gonna say yes, not everyone's gonna be so excited to join you right away, and that's totally fine. trust me, in like 6 months when you're still doing this, they're going to be like, dang, I should have started with her 6 months ago, because look at where she's at now, and I'm still feeling like poop. So, but then there will be people that will join you, like your parents, maybe your siblings, your best friends, your spouse. I mean, if you have a spouse, then just tell them, hey babe, this is what we're doing. Give me your credit card, give me your social security number. You're not gonna be my first coach. And just kind of, don't give them a way out of it, right? And long term, when you build your business, you're gonna want your spouse or significant other at the top of your organization anyways, because there's lots of benefits to that. So just make it happen, right? And go public, like share your story on Facebook and Instagram. Don't be scared to share your stories. And then message everybody that comments or likes on that post, right? Invite them. Just invite them fearlessly, without any doubt, without hesitation. Don't make that call for them, right? Like, don't think like, oh, she would never want to do this, I'm not going to bother her. How do you know? Unless you ask them, you can't make that decision for them. And then advance to Emerald in 24 hours, because that's going to be super exciting. And then we can all shout you out on Thursday for your new rank advancement. And then double Emerald next week, and then continue building your empire like that. 2 coaches at a time. Keep building, keep building, keep building. And then one day you're gonna meet at the top of your organization thinking like, holy crap, look at all these amazing teammates that I have, because I just decided to make that decision to do this, right? And not give up. So I wanna remind you that your stories matter, your voice matters, and you matter. So let's create a legacy together. Thank you guys. This is my call. I love you. Have a great night. I hope it was great. Let me stop the screen share. Bye guys. Have a great night.